Welcome to Stage 2 of the BP Ultimate Rally Raid Portugal. It's time to get on the road and head over the border to Spain as the rally sets up shop in Badajoz for the next few days. The top bikers gathering before the longest stage of this second edition, and sadly, two of them were forced to abandon today. Ross Branch pulled out after a crash at kilometre 57 because his hero was too damaged to keep going. The reigning world champion was okay, although he was taken to hospital for a checkup. Above all, he was very disappointed to suffer his third DNF in 4 rounds this season. It was also game over for Adrian van Beveren, who had a nasty crash at kilometre 187, tumbling into a ravine. Fortunately, he got help from Luciano Benavides and Edgar Canet before being airlifted out of the special with a suspected shoulder injury, but it could have been much worse. We wish both him and Ross a speedy recovery. It was a better day for Van Beveren's teammate, Ricky Brabeck. The American said it felt like a Dakar stage, over 400k against the clock and long liaisons, and plus with the slippery tracks it was a bit like riding on ice. Despite finishing with very slick tyres, he landed an impressive 3rd place and sits 3rd overall. But 2 riders were head and shoulders above the rest when it came to hunting the stage victory. It was an incredible fight between Tosha Schreiner and Daniel Sanders.
After more than 400 Ks and we are like 4 seconds after all of that is insane.
4 seconds was the margin of victory today as the Australian and the Spaniard traded blows along these fast and fiddly tracks. The gaps were ridiculously tight all day long, but Sanders finally took it down the stretch despite having to massage his tyres through the final 100 kilometres. 3 wins in as many days for the W2RC leader. They are now P1 and P2 overall.
Daniel was going so fast. Finally, we 4 seconds to the victory, but we will try tomorrow again.
The last bit he kept creeping in, getting tighter and tighter, and I had no tyre left, so I just had to survive and just held on enough.
Benavides was given time back after stopping with Van Beveren, and he came 4th, 4 minutes ahead of Sherco's Lorenzo Santolino. Sanders and Schreiner are separated by 1 minute and 36 seconds, with Brabeck and Benavides now over 7 minutes back. The nightmare day continued for the Hero Motorsports team as Tobias Ebster was also forced to retire in Rally 2. The Austrian hit a wall and destroyed his oil cooler, which meant calling it a day at kilometre 2:15. However, unlike Branch, he will be able to start again tomorrow. Bruno Santos was one of the sensations of last year's event, winning the Rally 2 class and coming 3rd overall. The Portuguese rider's a little further down the field this year, but he's made a solid start, 2nd in class yesterday and 3rd today. He is around 5 minutes down on the overall leader, Edgar Canet. The Spaniard claimed a 2nd straight stage win as he also got time back for stopping with Van Beveren. He outpaced Mike Doherty by 1 minute and 58 on the day. Canet, Santos and Doherty are separated by 5 minutes 22, with newbie Preston Campbell and Konrad Dabrowski rounding out the top 5. There was another win for Tomás Oldos in Rally 3. The Frenchman's been pleasantly surprised with his performances so far, and despite 3 small crashes, he finished 7.5 minutes ahead of Gonçalo Amaral. He's really looking at the overall picture though, and was happy to finish inside the top 15 on 2 wheels. Zoldos now leads Amaral by nearly 9 minutes, with 3rd placed Carlo Cabini at more than 40 minutes. It was a good day for Gaetan Martinez in the quads as he put almost 40 minutes into his teammate Antanas Kanopkinas. The Frenchman making the most of the Lithuanian's technical troubles to win for the second day running, and taking a step towards potentially landing the World Cup title this weekend. Martinez finished 12 minutes clear of Marek Woy, who's miles back overall after his retirement yesterday. Kanopkinas remains second, ahead of Alexi Varane. Now, we've already told you that Ford M Sport have a new Raptor T1 Plus for this rally, and we asked one of their technicians, Ollie, to talk us through what's new.
This year we've gone to a Lexan screen from a glass screen, purely for a serviceability as well. Cracked a lot of glass screens last year, so these are a lot more durable. Don't have to change them as much, which is good for us mechanics. Side windows, gone to a lot deeper aperture in the door, purely for a driver's visibility perspective. They like to see the dunes, they like to see more. So there's that. Rear bodywork wise, we've lost the shark fins off the roof, more of a smooth back for an aero purposes. We've got a shorter back, different tail lights, different rear lighting, more aero fins. We've also gone to a smaller diameter exhaust as well. Also changed the wheels, gone to a method wheel now, no more orange, lovely slate grey. We've also got a new wing on our roof. It's not a Formula 1 car, but it does help with getting air into the intake a bit quicker. And yeah, a couple of damper things, a bit lighter, but that's about it.
Cheers, Ollie. Well, it was set to be a brutal outing in the top car class, with yesterday's stage winner, Henk Laterken, describing his day as a comedy of errors. He had to change 2 drive shafts and also suffered a couple of punctures, dropping down to 5th place overall. It was also a rock and roll day for the Dacia Sand Riders. Nasser Al-Attiyah spent a long time hoovering up the dust behind Juan Cruz Jacopini, and he then got stuck for nearly a quarter of an hour after misjudging a corner. Luckily, his teammate Cristina Gutierrez arrived to get him back on track, but the Qatari still lost almost 14 minutes. Well, Cristina had already been called into action a bit earlier in the day to rescue her other teammate Sébastien Loeb. The Frenchman talks us through what happened.
We hit a tree in a tight corner. Not very hard, but it was a little tree, but I think it just took the wheel and it bended the wishbone. So after that we restarted, but we understood that it will be complicated to finish like this. And when it finally broke completely, we waited for Cristina to take the spare part.
When we saw Sebastian stop, we helped him because he didn't have the piece that he needs, so we give him. It was not an easy day, but we are happy because we helped the team, we are together.
We repaired quickly, and from that point it was a good stage.
Well, teamwork making the dream work at Dacia, but both crews lost over 14 minutes. It was even worse for Yazid Al-Raji, who was forced to retire with mechanical issues. The Saudi's been on a miserable run since he won the Dakar, a DNF in Abu Dhabi, then serious vertebrae injuries at the Baja Jordan, which forced him to miss South Africa. Today's misadventures ended his hopes of a good overall position. Well, after all that doom and gloom, let's talk about who had a good day, shall we? Saood Variawa was flying for the Toyota Gazoo racing team despite an early brake issue. The young South African's been adapting to the road book where the notes are more spaced out than he's used to here, but he was 3rd fastest and climbs up to 2nd overall. This is what that Ford Raptor looks like in full flight when it's being tracked by an FPV drone. After a difficult start to the rally, Carlos Sainz had a much better day today, finishing 2nd on his return to home soil. Plenty of fans out to support El Matador, who's up to 4th overall. But the day's victory, and a memorable one at that, went to João Ferreira. The Portuguese driver grabbing top spot in the ultimate class for the first time on the W2RC in front of his home fans to boot. He and co-driver Felipe Palmeiro didn't take any risks in the dust and still won by over a minute from Sainz.
My first victory in the ultimate class in Portugal with a new team, with the longest stage, so on the second stage already, so I'm super happy, you know. I couldn't ask for more. It was a super long stage, super difficult, and Felipe did also an amazing job in navigation, because when we entered Spain the roadbook changed a lot, even the dangers, so and the navigation as well, so Felipe did an amazing job, so a big thank you to him as well.
The two Toyota Gazoo racing cars inside the top three, separated by a Ford, with Toyota Gazoo Racing W2RC duo Seth Quintero and Lucas Morais in 4th and 5th. Ferreira leads Variawa by 3 minutes 24. The W2RC contenders have been keeping a bit of a low profile so far this week in the challenges, but today, Pau Navarro powered his way to second place. The Spaniard was a little over 3 minutes off the pace, but he is looking to keep the pressure on the World Championship leader, Nicolas Cavigliasso. Well, victory went to Gonçalo Guerreiro, who cut a frustrated figure back at the bivouac. The Portuguese star spent a long time eating dust behind the ultimates and felt he could have won by a bigger margin. With Matthias Ekstrom retiring though, he is our new overall leader and was happy to bounce back after a tough day yesterday.
I want to apologize to the team because yesterday we had a small problem. We had a crash, so they had an extra work, and they did an amazing job, and today we won, so it's a reward for the team.
Cavigliasso finished the day third ahead of Daniel Akil, who briefly led the stage at 1 point. Overall, Guerreiro leads Navarro by nearly 9 minutes, with Pim Klaassen in third. The Portuguese takeover continues in the SSVs, and today it was João Dias's turn to take top spots. The domestic drivers look set to battle it out for the rest of the week, having once again locked out the top 8 positions on the day. Dias now leads the rally ahead of the W2RC frontrunner Alexander Pinto. The Santag racing man coming in 3 minutes 45 clear of Ruben Rodriguez, with Pinto in third. Dias is top of the pile overall with a lead of 4 minutes and 15 seconds.